Hi, everybody. I'm going to wait just a little bit in case people dive in a few minutes later, but I always like to start right on time. We're going to make something really, really simple today, and it's not going to be baking. I thought it would be fun to do something really fun to get us ready for the weekend and enjoy all the fresh produce right now that I'm seeing at the farmer's market and the grocery store, and actually growing a little bit in my tiny, tiny backyard garden. Okay. So I've waited a little bit of time and I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm Beth Lee and I write a food blog called OMG Yummy, omgyummy.com. And I'd like to describe my kitchen as a multicultural Jewish kitchen. I wrote a cookbook called The Essential Jewish Baking Cookbook last year, almost exactly a year ago it came out. But I definitely don't cook just Jewish food in my kitchen. So I also cook Korean food, Hawaiian food. My husband is a Korean American whose parents came from Hawaii. And really just about everything. I love to cook really any type of cuisine. So you'll see all kinds of fun things on my stream. And if you have any requests, feel free to leave them in the comments. And also check out my blog and you'll see I have a lot of Middle Eastern ingredients. I'm kind of known as the lemon lady, specifically the preserved lemon lady. But today we are making a tomato, basil, and peach salad. And it's so easy. I don't even really have a recipe for it. It's more of give you an idea, use what's fresh. It's what I love to do in the summer. So maybe make some kind of protein for your dinner, maybe hand it to my husband who does the grilling kind of traditionally in our family. So I'll hand him some protein outside and I'll say, I'll make the sides for it. And I will take like a wonderful tomato during tomato season and like fresh peaches, which right now are so good. And I happen to be really lucky and I have a great place down in Morgan Hill, which is about 15 minutes south of here that grows the most incredible stone fruit. And it's just amazing. I love to take advantage of it. And then, so one of these, I think last year I started cutting up the tomato. You know, you have a tomato and basil and like mozzarella salad, like a caprese. That's so typical and, wonderful and fantastic and simple. But something kind of came to me and like, tomatoes and peaches together sounds really good. And I'm not the most green thumb, but I do have fresh basil in my garden right now. And I thought, basil and peach just sounded good. So one night I just cut up some basil and peaches, threw some fresh basil on it, looked at what else I had fresh in my drawer. And I actually had a lemon cucumber, which this is a Persian cucumber. But if you ever see lemon cucumber at the farmer's market or the store, it's really yummy and wonderful. It's more round in shape and like a lighter flesh, like a light flesh on the inside. It's really delicious. And I just put it all on a plate. That's the picture you see in the promo for this. And then I took an olive oil, one of my favorite like finishing olive oils, and I happen to have some peach vinegar, but you don't have to have peach vinegar. You could have, like I have a fig balsamic, regular balsamic, whatever vinegar you have that you love. And I just kind of sprinkled it over the top, a little bit of salt. I think I put a little pepper and just so incredibly delicious. So we're just going to make that right now. I'm going to take a really pretty plate. And what I usually do is, so if I'm feeding more people, like right now, it's probably just going to be my lunch. So I'm taking not too huge a plate. And but usually I'll take like maybe a big white plate and I'll just slice things up, lay it out nicely, sprinkle the vinegar and oil on top, the basil, maybe I'll cut the basil up and then maybe finish it with a little cheese or not. Depends on whether it's a side, whether you're going to make it your lunch, maybe try to turn it into a main. And that's it. And kind of whatever floats my boat, however I want to slice it, whatever. But let me show you what I do. So start with the tomato. And the tomatoes are so beautiful at the markets now. And I do have a few growing in my backyard. In fact, I am proud to say I grew this little zebra tomato myself. So I'm going to take this big red one I have left over from my market visit the other day, the zebra, and use both of those. So I'm just going to slice it up. Okay, maybe I should have taken my tomato knife. Maybe I will go get my tomato knife. Hang on. Make it easy. I happen to have a little, you don't have to have one of these, but this little knife here, this helps get the top of the tomato out, but it's got a tiny little serration on it. I love it for cutting tomatoes. So I'm going to just slice up the tomato. Okay. And I'm going to keep it pretty. I won't use that end part. So I have my plate here. I'll put it up higher on the work surface so you can kind of see. And I'm going to start spreading out the tomato on it. Let me turn it around this way. And again, do this, whatever kind of makes you, whatever hits your eye. There's really no rules to that. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So then I have the zebra tomato, which I feel like I want to add in here. So I'm going to cut that up. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So I'm going to put it over next to my red one over here. Okay, that guy doesn't want to stay. I'll put you that way. Okay. And then I'm going to cut up my peach. Yeah, clean it up a little bit. I go back to my other knife. So what's everybody got planned for the weekend? When I make this, I usually, it's wonderful, like with something grilled, and this is the side. It's just keeps it so fresh and delicious. I've never had anyone not say they love it. And oh my God, look at this peach. Okay, so I think you could go a couple ways with how you cut this up. I think because I'm doing such a small plate and not at my usual big one, I'm going to cut one of my halves in half. And then I'm just going to make some slices. I wish you could smell this. I wish they could digitize smell and you could taste this peach. If any of you are from California and you're anywhere in Northern California and you haven't driven down to Andy's Orchard in Morgan Hill, I highly recommend it. Okay, and then I think I'm just going to layer it over here on the side. Again, there's no like right or wrong way to do this. But I mean, oh my goodness, even just the color of the peaches and the tomatoes. Like, I'm such a kind of geek about this stuff. It's so beautiful to me. The other night, let me tell you a little tip. We had like a grilled chicken for dinner. I had like a shawarma spice blend. I just put that and some olive oil on the chicken. My husband grilled that. And I had some zucchini, which I just kind of steamed in the microwave and put some olive oil and stuff on it. But I took cucumber, like a Persian cucumber like this, and I had some of my own cherry tomatoes. They're really tiny. Cut those in half, cut the Persian cucumber up really small in like little dice and mix that with the tomatoes. But I had this great nectarine, and it was like a yellow nectarine. I don't know if I have one left. It's called a Silk Road nectarine. And again, kind of like this peach, the peaches with the tomatoes, that color, it's that yellow color. And it's really deeply flavored. So I cut that up into small pieces and mixed it with the red and the green, the red tomatoes and the green Persian cucumber. It looked so beautiful. It tasted so good. I don't even think I really added anything, maybe a little salt, maybe a touch of lemon juice. It just was the crunch and the taste together. So simple. You really almost don't need to cook in the summer when the produce is as good and the fruit is as good as it is. Okay, so now my cucumber. Persian cucumber, you can leave all the all the skin on it, but this one has maybe been in my fridge for a few days, and I don't feel like it's quite as beautiful on the outside as it might have been right at the beginning of its freshness. And it looks kind of cool. So sometimes I take off a little bit of the outside skin, but you don't have to do that. And then I'm just going to slice it up, and I'm using a smaller. And this, you don't need this. I mean, really, you could just fill up the plate with the tomatoes and the cucumber and be done with it. So I'm just going to put some of but I like the crunch of this, and I just love the cucumbers in the summer. And like I said, I had a lemon cucumber the other day, but those are gone. And my farmer's market isn't until either tomorrow or the next day. So, but I wanted to get you guys excited for the weekend. So I'm just going to pile these in the center. Okay. And I mean, look at that, you guys. It's beautiful. Okay. And then I have my fresh basil. So you can take this and just throw on the whole leaves if it looks really beautiful. Or you can take them and cut them up into little pieces so you get like maybe more of it and get it in each bite. But really in the way like cutting these, you can pile these on top of each other. If you want to get like little slices of it and do what's called like a chiffonade, it's nothing really very fancy. You can either leave them flat like this and cut little pieces, or if the leaves are big enough, you can roll them up. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you a technique in case you want to. See how they're rolled up? I'm going to take my really sharp knife now and just cut some little pieces very carefully. Okay, but you don't have to do that fancy dancy thing, which is not really fancy, because if I know how to do it, it's easy. Or you could just take the leaves flat like that. Keep those fingers out of the way. Cut them into little pieces, or like I said, you could even leave them whole. So here's your little chiffonade. Isn't that fun? See that? It came out kind of fun. Let me see if I can show you the difference between how the two came out. See that? So there's your chiffonade. They're a little bit longer, and there's where I just piled the leaves on top of each other, and I got little shorter strips of the basil. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put some of the basil on top. And trust me, it tastes so good with the peaches and the tomatoes. So if you've never tried it with the peaches, give it a go. So you can see the basil on top. And then, like I said, you could make a dressing, okay? And I didn't take it out of the fridge, so it might be a little congealed, but let me show you a dressing. So I make a preserved lemon vinaigrette. I told you I'm the preserved lemon lady. So it's kind of congealed now because it has olive oil in it, and I had it in the fridge. But you could take something like this preserved lemon vinaigrette. In fact, I did this the other night. It does taste delicious, and just drizzle a little bit on that. But really, to be honest, what I did the first time I made it a few days ago, I took my peach vinegar, whatever vinegar you're using, and I put a tiny bit on top. Just like that. Like I didn't measure, I just a little bit, maybe put your finger over the top of the bottle. It doesn't come out too fast. And then I put some olive oil on it. I mean, that was how simple it was. And I just want to show you the absolute most simple approach. But if you want to actually make a vinaigrette, you can do that. If you have a vinaigrette you want to use, but usually like on a caprese salad, it's as simple as just some balsamic vinegar or just some olive oil, and definitely a little bit of salt. You could do some pepper, just depends on your taste buds. You don't have to. Some people might, but it's kind of good. Again, that you'd be surprised how savory the peaches can go. And then let me show you one more thing. Okay. So I'm very lucky to live about 20 minutes from a brand new Eataly that just opened up in San Jose. And I have this really delicious Parmesan cheese. So obviously, if you have burrata or fresh mozzarella, that would be fantastic with this because that's all this really is kind of a take on a caprese salad. But you can also go, and I did this one night when I made it. You can also go like with the hard cheese, like the Parmesan or a Grana Padano, even some Romano or some ricotta salata, which is like that softer, but not as soft as regular ricotta. You could do fresh feta, you could do goat cheese. So then make this into more of like a lunch or a little heavier side dish. I also like to take my peeler and get some big pieces of the Parmesan and stick it on top. And I don't, really, and this is, I mean, I'm talking a lot and making this take a little bit longer, but we're talking like 5 minutes from start to finish here, guys. And I don't, place the things perfectly. There you can see you put some Parmesan on top, but you can imagine how beautiful this would be if you had burrata, mozzarella, any white, softer cheese, the feta, the goat cheese would be absolutely delicious. And I know there's one more thing I wanted to tell you. Oh, prosciutto. So I'm out, but I had some really fantastic prosciutto. Prosciutto and melon is a very, like time honored, fantastic combination. But if you had some prosciutto would taste fantastic with this, especially with the peaches. And so, as I said, prosciutto, melon, very typical combination, delicious. But if you take the prosciutto and marry it with your peaches, it's just really delicious. So to make this, if you're again making this into like your lunch or a bigger kind of side dish, or maybe almost part of like an appetizer display, and you have some great prosciutto, highly recommend. You could roll up the pieces and put it on top. You could serve it on the side. You could take it in small pieces and put it right on top of the peaches and the tomato. So have fun with this salad. It's so wonderful to enjoy the bounty of the summer, to enjoy what I hope for you guys is nice weather outside and company of your friends and family and your neighbors during this time of year when we have long days. So don't spend a lot of time, fussing over things in the kitchen. Take advantage of how good all of this tastes. I mean, honestly, if you put all this on the plate and really added almost nothing to it, the flavors are so good this time of year. You'll just enjoy the crunch and the flavor and the juiciness of it. So have fun this weekend and make your own version of a peach, tomato, and basil salad, and then come back and tell me what you made. I'd love to hear. And if there's any questions from anybody, I am happy to take questions. And it's been great fun making my lunch with you guys today. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Again, I'm Beth Lee. You can find me at ohmygodyummy.com, omgyummy.com. And I'm OMG Yummy on almost every platform. So please come and say hi here on Kitsch or find me anywhere else. I love to talk about food pretty much 24 hours a day. So come and ask me questions or suggest what you'd like me to stream next week. I'll be back next week, probably on Thursday again. I came on today on Friday because I took a couple days off the last couple days and went to the coast of California, about 2 hours from here. My husband and I were celebrating our anniversary, and we enjoyed the sunshine and took some hikes. And they're known for their oysters over there, so I have to say we may have eaten a few of those. They're also known for their cheeses. We had a great time. So I'm here with you today. I hope you're getting excited for food this weekend, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.